Hey everybody, welcome to another WOFOYO short. This is C-Dub. I covered something a little while ago where it seemed like there were two contradictory Bible verses, and they weren't contradictory, but you had to know which one to use at which time. Talking about answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be like him. And sometimes in our Christian walk, what can happen is we hear one version of the story. Paul said, I've not ceased to declare to you the whole counsel of God. There's context, there's timing. And working in high threat security environment, one of the things it teaches you to do is watch people. Here's the conundrum here. Because you have people, well, brother, that's not love. I've had this specifically happen. Brother, that's not walking in love. Brother, that's not walking in love. Brother, that's not walking in love. And I was pointing out behavior that I saw that was bad behavior, and it resembled behavior that was in my high threat environment that I work in. You're like, well, you're bringing the job to church, and that shouldn't be. Well, come to find out, there's about 5 people that I pointed out, hey, something's not right, something's not right, something's not right. And a big part of that really was spiritual discernment. But a lot of it was, I've seen this behavior before, and it was not nice people doing it. Matter of fact, in some cases, it was the same spirit behind it that I'd seen in another person. That is what it is. So how do you remedy that discernment and walking in the love of God? Because what's going to be told to you is, now, brother, love believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. This is 1 Corinthians 13, verse 6. And the context was Paul was getting into this. He had just got through describing all the gifts, and he goes, these gifts are for the building of the body. However, what's even better than the gifting is love. But let's read that full verse. It does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Verse 7, it keeps confidence. So in other words, if somebody tells you something in confidence and that it's not supposed to go somewhere else, then it don't go anywhere else. That's love. Brother, why is that a secret? Probably because you don't need to know it. It was told to me in confidence. It believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. So how do you reconcile that in walking in the love of God and believing all things, keeping ever confidence, endures all things, hopes for all things? You keep things in context. You follow the Holy Spirit, but I would also like to point out Jesus does things here in a way that I've kind of based how I deal with it. And I'm going to talk about how I deal with it. This might not be how you deal with it, but I think it might help. Luke chapter 6, talking about behavior. Verse 45, the good person out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth what is good. The evil person out of the evil treasure brings forth what is evil, for his mouth speaks from that which fills his heart. And then he's getting ready to go into Luke's version of the parable of the builders. One builds the house on the rock, and everything comes and beats against it, and the trials of life, the waves in the story, but the house stands. But those that hear his sayings and don't do them, they don't have that firm foundation of action and faith. So when the hard times come, it just falls apart. In between that, he says, now, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I say? And then he breaks into the parable of the builders, and he starts talking about the action. If you say you're going to do it, you hear it, you know what the right thing to do is, but you don't do it. Bad foundation. So one of the things that interests me that I love to do all the time, I get away from people so I can turn it off, but I watch people. If I'm at work, I'm watching people. I'm getting paid to watch people, getting paid to notice things and to make certain calls. Sketchy environments at times. That being said, if I go to church, I'm watching what happens in church. If I go to a restaurant, if I go to a bar and grab a beer, I'm watching people. People are interesting. If you let them talk long enough and you let them act long enough, they'll show you who they are. Here's a little method with which I've kind of learned to balance these two things. And nobody's calling me Lord, Lord. All right. But when it comes to our walk with Christ, He is the one that holds us accountable. But He brings up this point. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I say? Here's a little saying. I don't know if I stole it from somebody 30 years ago, but I remember I started using this thing. Everybody, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to, oh, brother, I got you. Hey, hey, even back when I was in the Army. Oh, man, I'll be there. Yeah, sure, sure. People say they'll be there. They're not there. Oh, you can count on me, and you can't count on them. So here's the saying. Yeah, you hope for all things because you love people. Uh, you believe all things, but also sometimes you need to verify. So the saying is just this. I listen to what you say. I watch what you do. If what you say and what you do are lining up, man, it's so easy to believe. It's so easy to love. It's so easy to have hope. It's so easy to be able to help and assist and be there for people that need it. But the bottom line is we need discernment in this world. When you have that discernment, it allows you to be loving, but being very attentive to the voice of the Holy Spirit will also cause you to know when somebody's on BS. And as believers, especially as spirit-filled Christians, we should have some of the best BS detectors out there because we should be listening. So just remember, listen to what people say, then watch what they do. And as long as it's lining up, everything's good. When it doesn't, be guided accordingly. That's when it goes from believing all things to hoping. And sometimes you got to trust but verify. I hope that helps. So just remember, stay in the love of God, ask the Holy Spirit for discernment, pray for wisdom, and then walk in it. WOFOYO.